We are almost seeing a confirmation of the end of the Bitcoin bear market. And on today's update video, I'm going to talk about the fact that this week we will see extreme volatility for Bitcoin. And I will be exactly explain why this will be happening. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and its major resistance we are currently trading against. Because currently, as of for now, I can see that the $80,000 mark for Bitcoin is providing a significant amount of resistance right now. And on today's update video, obviously, I'm going to discuss a very interesting fractal about how every single Bitcoin bear market bottom. We have seen such a major push towards the upside. And actually, never ever before, Bitcoin has taken out the previous high in just one single candle. So I'm going to talk about that on today's update video and so much more here, because right now, Bitcoin is also creating some very interesting momentum on not only the liquidation heat map, because right now, Bitcoin is again starting to create very interesting behavior on the open interest market and of course on the liquidation heat map. So a lot to discuss about it on today's update video. I will give a big update on my more than $1 million in profit Bitcoin long trade and so much more here. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap the like button. Back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated. And let me jump straight away into today's update video. And first of all, again, I am pointing out the biggest level of resistance for Bitcoin right now, and that is clearly that $80,000 level. We can see there are major amounts of Bitcoin sell orders laying up around the $80,000 mark. To be exact, we're seeing about $100 million in sell orders sitting only around that $80,000 level. And yeah, that is why I am expecting this is going to be a major level of resistance. And if we're just looking at the will order map, you can see that this is the biggest chunk of sell orders that we're having ahead of ourselves. And as Bitcoin is currently consolidating in this phase here, we're seeing more and more orders piling up below us, which is ultimately going to be providing some big support for Bitcoin. And before I'm going to dive in towards all these important charts, I quickly want to give you a heads up here, because this week on Friday, we are going to get the Jackson Hole. And ever since 2022, every single time we get the Jackson Hole, Bitcoin creates major volatility. Literally every single time. So again,
this Friday, it will be that time of the year again here with Kevin Walsh, his first as Fed chair here. And if he's going to be dovish, there is a very big chance that Bitcoin is going to continue to run and it's going to be breaking the $80,000. If he will be making a statement that he's going to be hawkish, this will be having a major effect on the market. And I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing a major drop back all the way down to $73,000. And if neutral, most likely, we're just going to be chopping around here. But really, every single time so far around Jackson Hole, Bitcoin sees major volatility. So make sure to prepare exactly for this event here. Then, of course, clearly, we can see that Bitcoin is running into some very important volume resistance. This has been exactly the level that got us rejected previously around here, and now again is providing some resistance for Bitcoin. And like I said on multiple occasions already, I do really believe the moment Bitcoin is going to be breaking above that $80,000 level of resistance, it could most likely run a little bit higher. But if it's going to get rejected, do also be alert. There's not a lot of volume support laying around those ranges all the way down to about $71,000. So if Bitcoin does see a rejection, it can also move quicker towards the downside. And then, before I'm going to give a big update on my trade here, actually, if I'm going to be looking back here at all the previous Bitcoin bear markets, of course, every single Bitcoin bear market ended with a major green candle towards the upside. That basically showed that a lot of buyers were. That basically gives you the feeling that, of course, you missed out on the bottom and Bitcoin is already going to go up again here. But what I am seeing right now, at what most amount of traders are saying, is that Bitcoin has not taken out the weekly high yet here. And this is also something I am personally looking at. But if we're just looking back at 2022, we also didn't took out the weekly high. But in the following week after, we clearly did so, and we got rejected by the range high, which ultimately marked a major trap in the market. Then in 2018 again, we were not even able to take out the previous candle high on the weekly time frame, but still after that, we saw a continuation higher. And again, where did we saw rejection? Approximately from that range high over there. So this is something very interesting, what we tend to be seeing every single Bitcoin pair market. So in my opinion, we should be looking for some additional confirmations. I mean, one of the things that I would be saying here is that whenever Bitcoin is going to be breaking above the weekly EMA ribbon, it is going to give a confirmation that Bitcoin bear market is over. Because this has been the case in every single Bitcoin bear market, right? So here in 2018, the moment Bitcoin broke above the EMA ribbon was actually the point that the confirmation was there that the Bitcoin bear market bottom was in, and that the bull market out. It's super, super valuable. Obviously, guys, I think this trade is going to be making me millions and millions of dollars, and I already said it. Bear market bottoms are to DCA, and also that is basically a similar strategy I have with my trade here. I'm not dollar cost averaging in towards my leverage position. No, I set a certain amount of levels where I think Bitcoin is going to be bottoming, and those are the levels where I want to be going in here. And so far, this strategy is clearly paying off here because I'm already about $1 million in profit right now here. And if I'm looking at Bitcoin, this very much well could be the Bitcoin bear market bottom. But just like I said earlier, I want to see some more confirmations. One of the things I'm currently seeing here is that there is a bunch of liquidity again starting to pee up above us. I mean, while we have been seeing this big squeeze towards the upside, we saw over here funding rates flip negative. I made a video, Bitcoin is going to be pushing higher. That exactly happened. So that was a very great analysis that I gave to you guys out there. This video I made here on the 20th of August. You can watch it back here. I basically warned everyone out there that Bitcoin is going to see another push higher. And I mean, we went from $72,000 all the way about to $80,000. And whenever I'm going to be seeing such a signal again here, I think we're going to see another push higher. But so far, that has not really been the case here, but we are starting to see that open interest is slowly building up again here. And if I'm looking then at the liquidation heat map, I can see that indeed there's more long liquidations laying below us. But truly, the short liquidations are much more clustered. So all the way up to about $82,000, there's a bunch of short liquidations, all the way up to about $4 billion again in short liquidations laying. So if Bitcoin can make a sharp move above that $80,000 level, where of course we can see a lot of sell orders are laying, so it is going to be difficult to break above this level. If we have the strength to break above $80,000, it is going to cascade with a big amount of short liquidations, and then most likely, I think Bitcoin is going to be running it all the way up to about 82.7 thousand here, where somewhat of major resistance is going to be found here, because 82.7 thousand is also exactly the previous weekly high for Bitcoin right now here. So those are the levels I'm going to be paying clearly attention towards. I mean, also, if I'm looking at Bitcoin, we are confirming a lot of big breakout. I have said smart money is buying always in this lower side of this falling wedge pattern. And ultimately, if we're going to be basically invert this chart here, you can see something very interesting. We are again creating a major rising wedge pattern. And the rising wedge pattern is again breaking down just like it did in 2022 here. So ultimately, the long plan here, the long game, is nothing to worry about. I think Ethereum is starting to look very great here from a technical analysis perspective. This is major daily resistance. We closed the daily candle above it, retested it, and now it is holding on towards support. So I think Ethereum could potentially also give us another push towards the upside fairly soon here. Even though I want you to know that this is, of course, a time where you want to be staying a little bit more patient, because I want to see some more confirmations coming in on Bitcoin. And yeah, especially pay attention towards Friday, because if the Fed is going to be very hawkish, it could have a very bearish cascading effect on the entire market here. So this is exactly where I'm trying to warn you for. But anyways, this is it for me in today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, would be highly appreciated, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out, goodbye.